Earlier this month, the EPA declared a public health emergency in Libby, Montana, and widened efforts to eliminate the dangerous asbestos that covers much of the town. Now, the legacy of the W-R Vermiculite Mine is leading to testing right here in Spokane. KXLY4's Melissa Luck has a story from the intersection of Maple and Sharp.
This site doesn't look like much now, but for 34 years, this is where vermiculite ore brought in from Libby, Montana was processed. It was extremely dusty and released unknown amounts of asbestos into the air. Now, the EPA is back trying to determine if there's still asbestos lingering in these neighborhoods.
We are doing 9 residential properties here, kind of around the site.
It looked like a hazmat situation along Maxwell Avenue today. But the men and women in Todd Smith's front yard were here for a very different purpose.
They were coming around the neighborhood and knocked on the door and told me what they were doing, asked if I'd be interested, and yeah.
What they're doing is testing 9 yards for the presence of asbestos. Asbestos that could have blown into these yards decades ago from the vermiculite processing facility just down the street.
I just figured it's to help the environment find out what's going on.
Todd bought this house 3 years ago and had no idea the toxic legacy left behind 30 years ago. Vermiculite ore from the W-R Grace Mine in Libby, Montana was shipped to Spokane for processing. It was a dusty job, and the EPA knows some of the dangerous particles entered the air and the neighborhoods.
We were here once before in 2001, collected some samples from residential properties around the site.
Those samples revealed extremely low levels of asbestos in these yards, but since then, new testing has been developed that could reveal an even greater risk.
What we've learned is that even low levels of asbestos can present a hazard if it becomes airborne. So that's the focus now, is determining whether those low concentrations present a risk of becoming airborne and an inhalation hazard.
Only about half the property owners approached by the EPA agreed to have their yards tested for asbestos. The EPA will test 9 yards in all. Todd Smith says he's confident the samples won't show contamination. At the home, he has no intention of selling.
Hoping it's going to be low like they said it probably is. So I'm going to be here a long time. So
the EPA doesn't expect test results back until the end of August. Then it will be determined if this area can be named a Superfund removal site. Reporting in West Spokane, I'm Melissa Luck, KXLY4 HD News.